Have you ever wondered why a woman might act one way with one person, but completely change her behavior when she is with someone else? It is a bit of a mystery, isn't it? Today, I want to talk about why some women seem to challenge or test men who might not be standing on solid ground, yet they become much softer and more relaxed around men who are firm in who they are. There is a lot of confusion out there about this. Many men misunderstand why a woman does the things she does. Sometimes they think it is just her personality, but often her behavior is actually a mirror reflecting how you are showing up in the relationship. Every single man who meets the same woman will actually experience a slightly different version of her. This happens because of what the man brings to the table, how much he believes in himself, and whether he has a calm, solid energy that makes a woman feel like she can finally put her guard down. When a man is steady and sure of himself, it naturally invites a woman to be her true, gentle self, rather than feeling like she has to be on the lookout or stay defensive around him. So, let's explore these ideas together with a warm heart and an open mind. Before we get too far into our talk, I want to share a small reminder. Whenever you listen to advice about dating or people, please remember to take it with a grain of salt. The things I am going to share with you don't apply to every single woman on this big planet, and they don't apply to every single man either. People are all different. This is just a general collection of ideas that many people have found to be true, and you can see how they fit into your own life. I feel it is important to say this because sometimes we take things we hear too personally. We might feel hurt or confused, or we might forget to look inside ourselves to see what is really happening in our own specific situation. So please use this as a guide to help you think, not as a set of rules that must always be true. Now that we have said that, let's talk about what is really happening when a woman seems to be testing you. You might notice her trying to push your buttons or doing things that might make you feel a little frustrated or upset. When we hear the word test, our minds often jump to something negative, like someone trying to trick us or play games. While it's true that some people can be manipulative, that isn't usually what is happening here. Most of the time, these are things women do without even thinking about it. It is a quiet inner search for the truth. They do this when they aren't quite sure if they can trust you yet, or when they haven't figured you out. They want to see what you are really like when things get a little bit bumpy. These little moments of testing are very common, especially when you are first getting to know someone and starting a new relationship. In the very beginning, when there is a lot of excitement and attraction, it is so easy to get swept away by the magic of it all. Everything feels wonderful, but once the excitement settles down and real life begins, we as women start to look a little closer. We start to analyze things that we didn't notice when we first met you. This might look like a woman challenging your ideas, disagreeing with something you said, or even pulling back her attention to see how you respond. She might even push against your rules or boundaries just to see how you handle yourself in that moment. It is her way of asking, "Are you really as solid as you seem?" This is not about being mean or wanting to hurt you. It comes from a deeper place of wanting to feel safe and secure with someone who can remain steady when life throws challenges their way. I want to explain why these tests tend to happen more often with men who feel a bit weak. When I use the word weak, I am not talking about how much you can lift at the gym. I mean that you don't have a solid sense of who you are deep inside. You might not have a clear identity that supports you in your conversations, your actions, or the way you treat the people around you. When a person lacks this inner strength, they find it hard to stand up for themselves when there is a disagreement, or when things don't go exactly as planned. A man can be physically very strong, but if he is not strong in his heart and mind, a woman will sense those emotional weak spots. She might even start using those triggers against you, without even realizing she is doing it. That is why it is so very important, before you start looking for a serious partner, to take your relationship with yourself seriously. If you do not know what you truly value, if you do not know what you stand for, or if you do not have clear boundaries, you might find yourself acting like a nice guy who just wants to please everyone. This sends a quiet message to a woman that she can walk all over you and that you will just let it happen. Perhaps you have felt this before in your life. Maybe you felt like a woman didn't respect you, or that the respect she had at the beginning slowly faded away because of how she spoke to you, or how she acted during a disagreement. The less steady a man is in his emotions, the more a woman might feel she has to take charge or be dominant just to feel some kind of structure. This doesn't mean she enjoys being in that position. In fact, most women would much rather relax into their feminine energy and allow a man to lead with confidence and care. But when that leadership is missing, when a man cannot stand firm in who he is, a woman feels like she has no choice but to step up and fill that empty space. Many men have experienced a situation where a woman started out being incredibly sweet and kind, but as time went on, she began to show a different, sharper side of her personality. It is possible that your own actions and the way you led the relationship actually brought that side out of her. That is what I mean when I say every man gets a different version of the same woman. It depends on how he leads himself when he is with her. When you show up without clear boundaries, without knowing what you will and will not accept, you give her permission to treat you in ways that might not feel good to you. And over time, that can erode the respect and attraction that was there in the beginning. This is not about blaming anyone. It is about understanding that the dynamic between two people is always a dance, and both partners play a role in creating the energy of that relationship. On the other hand, men who are strong in their hearts don't get tested in these ways as much. These men show that they are solid in their self-worth and their beliefs. They know how to keep their values and their moral compass pointing in the right direction, especially when things get difficult. If you get too comfortable with not speaking up for yourself on dates or while you are getting to know someone, you are actually telling her that her behavior is something you are okay with. But the truth is, women are much more drawn to men who can stand their ground when she challenges him. He doesn't just fold like a piece of paper. He isn't a doormat. He is okay with being a little bit uncomfortable because he knows he can handle whatever comes his way. Relationships are not always about sunshine and rainbows. If you have ever been in one, you know that things can get messy. Striving for a relationship where nothing ever goes wrong is not a realistic goal. When things get tough, or when you need to speak your mind, it is important to do so with respect. You should not speak from a place of deep fear or insecurity. When a man feels weak the moment a woman challenges him, it actually makes her feel like she has to keep her guard up. She won't feel safe enough to open up and show that soft, gentle side that so many men are looking for today. Instead, she will continue to test and push, because deep down, she is still searching for that solid ground she can lean on. To me, true strength in a man is the ability to be still within himself and still make the best decisions for everyone involved. True strength is calm. It is controlled. It can be quiet and observant. This is why a woman's tests don't really work on a truly strong man. He passes the test before it even starts, because he isn't pretending to be strong. He just is. His character stays the same no matter who he is with. He has the self-awareness that a woman needs to feel secure. Within that structure and reliability, a woman will naturally trust him. She won't feel the need to question his intentions or his leadership. His actions speak much louder than any words ever could. When a man has done the inner work on himself, when he knows his values and lives by them consistently, a woman can feel that. She doesn't have to wonder if he will crumble under pressure or change his mind when things get hard. She knows that he is someone she can count on. This creates a sense of safety that allows her to relax and be vulnerable. And when a woman feels truly safe with a man, that is when you get to see the softest, most loving version of her. That is when she can let down her walls and show you her heart without fear. This is what is needed for a woman to truly soften and feel safe. It will never happen with a man who is afraid to step into his own strength. I want you to understand that this isn't about being harsh or rigid. It isn't about being controlling or dominant in a negative way. It is about having a strong sense of self that guides you through life. It is about being able to say no when something doesn't align with your values and being able to say yes when it does. It is about making decisions based on what you know to be right, not based on fear of losing someone or fear of being alone. When you live this way, you naturally command respect, because people can see that you respect yourself first. And when a woman sees that you respect yourself, she will respect you too. Think about the men in your life who you admire most. Chances are they are men who know who they are and don't apologize for it. They are men who treat people with kindness, but don't let others take advantage of them. They are men who can stand in their truth, even when it is uncomfortable. These are the qualities that make a man truly attractive, not just physically, but emotionally and spiritually as well. And these are the qualities that make a woman feel like she can finally breathe and be herself around you. I hope our talk today helps you understand why these things happen. Being aware of these patterns can help you learn so much about yourself. If you find that women in your life tend to test you a lot or seem to become more difficult over time, it might be worth looking inward and asking yourself some honest questions. Do I have clear boundaries? Do I know what I stand for? Am I willing to speak up for myself even when it is uncomfortable? These are the questions that will help you grow into the kind of man who naturally attracts respect and love. If you enjoyed these thoughts and want to hear more from our group of caring experts, please let us know what you would like to talk about next. We always love hearing from you. If you found this helpful, feel free to show your support and stay connected with us. I look forward to our next talk together.